Wait. How does this stop? Okay.
Oh, go to the bottom. Go to the music.
Oh,
all right.
That was such an intro. Hey, everybody. I'm fresh off the boat, back from Sydney, Australia, World Pride. You are here joining myself, Russell Ray, my extraordinary co-host with the most, Ronnie Jr. Welcome as we recap The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 13, Episode 3 and 4. All right, what do we think about it? Let's right off the top. What do we think? Oh, sorry. Before we get started, if you hear this word, and if you're over the age of 21 in the United States, please take a drink of your adult beverage. If not, don't drink. Have a little sip of love potion, a little juice, a little apple juice, something, whatever floats your boat. But if you hear this word, take a drink because we are tired of hearing it.
Very much so. Very tired of that.
Ronnie,
Teresa.
what did you think about today's episode?
Good. The shows are lighting up. You know, Jersey, as I said, when we first did our initial recap, it's like they are worrisome because the whole world, except for Andy, I guess, is tired of Teresa versus Melissa. We're all quite tired of it. But somehow, at least now, only a couple episodes in, things are feeling good. The new cast, they're rising to the occasion. I like it.
You know what? I think the new cast is great. I really enjoy the new add-ons. I enjoy Paulie. I enjoy the fact that Frank Catania's talking more about his relationship and his girlfriend. I think Danielle's husband is just dreamy as can be.
What's his name?
Daddy.
It's not even but 4 minutes into the episode. And you know Danielle watches. Do you know? Say hi to Danielle. Danielle watches the show.
You know, I respect it. I love the relationship. I respect you, but damn. Okay. Really appreciate your man too.
How much fun did you have in Australia at World Pride? Because his hormones are jumping right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, jumping.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
But no, Nate
got me set off all the way in
for real. Yeah. I'm going to the next Pride. I manifested that. That's going to be, you said, in Taiwan. I went to the New York one and I missed this one, but I'm vicariously living through your stories that we will not mention on this show because they are wild. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Wow, baby.
So no, it's a good mix. And like, even initially it was like, oh, I love Danielle, but then I'm even kind of like, oh wow, Rachel's really exciting, Rachel Fuda, and then the other Jen. I mean, it's really coming together. I'm into it. It's feeling all right. I'm giving high praise to this franchise.
You know what I loved about this episode was that right at the beginning, all the women took videos of their husbands coming home from a night out.
Oh yeah.
No. Yeah, sorry. This episode, my bad. No, coming back from out of end of episode 13 going into 14. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, what I want to talk about, we got ahead of ourselves. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've been recapping quite a bit. Yeah.
It's been a long day. Long day. Okay. How to put my Jersey accent on for all I use. So what do we think of Frank and Paulie busting each other's balls? What do we think about the relationship? Go.
I think it's good. I think Frank needs to learn. I mean, not like he was doing anything wrong, but you do have to realize you broke this union. And though you had a good moment for a long period of time, did that serve Dolores? I still am not like 100% into Paulie. I still kind of miss David. I still feel like David could have worked, but you got to go with what the person gives you. Dolores wants to focus on herself. And if Paulie's bringing that out of her, there's a little worry that, like, you know, is he secluding her? But it's what Dolores wants. And Dolores wants Paulie, and I'm happy. Yeah.
Do you really miss David that much?
10 toes down. Yes.
Why?
But not if David's lackadaisical energy allowed for Frank to be all up in the mix. Not that was wrong that Frank's in the mix, but and Dolores to not get the attention. If those things are what David gave, then that's a problem. And if
Okay.
Paulie is more like, we're going to make it more traditional, I'm going to give you more of the values that you want, I think for that sake, Paulie is the right guy.
Interesting. See, I liked that David had a great career. I don't know if I loved David. Um, I like Polly just because I haven't seen Dolores this happy. And as you know, Dolores and I are friends. So I haven't seen Dolores this happy in a while. And so this makes me really excited for her. Like, this is the one. I feel like he's going to pull out a ring within the next season and a half. I feel like this season was surrounded by Teresa and her wedding. Next season, maybe the mid towards end
Yeah.
season, definitely Polly will bring out a ring. Polly, we're rooting for you. My little Irish Italian friend. Yes.
Yeah.
He ain't little nothing. I'll tell you that. So there's that.
Oop.
He's like,
yes.
we saw on the photo shoots.
He's stocky. Yeah.
Yeah. Meaty. Like, everybody, like, you talking about grade A beef. Like, this is the real grade A beef husbands New Jersey.
This guy over here. Yeah. No, I mean, I think we've said it, period, point blank. He makes her happy. And we love this Dolores character or person, not like she's a character, but we love her, the Dolores-ness of it all.
Yeah.
And we're sort of owed, or as viewers, this happy ending. So that's sort of what it's feeling like. Yeah.
I do understand why Paulie has set a boundary though between Frank coming around as often as he does. But what I do want to see happen is I want to see these two men become best friends and actually leave Dolores out of it. I want Dolores less involved in Frank's life, and I want Paulie more involved in Frank's life, because at the end of the day, both of them have a young man to influence and raise, which is Frankie.
Yeah.
Even though Frankie's grown, he's still going to have many questions along the way of his life, and he needs nothing more than two men to give him life experience. And the fact that most of us who have one in life are lucky. Those of us who are able to have two are extraordinary, luckily, because you get to learn elements of different perspective of being a man, whether you're a gay man, a straight man, or you're non-binary. You still get to learn these things. And I think that's so great if Paulie and Frank can become good friends, which is why I had today's title, Frank and Paulie Bust Balls, because they do bust each other's balls, and Frank has mentioned it a lot. And so I really want to see these two come together as a force and kind of leave Dolores out of it, so that they have their own established, He-Man Woman Haters Club, to say the least. And for Frankie Jr. to be involved in that, because I think that would be a great dynamic as a trio for them to build a strong bond relationship, and for Frankie to be able to turn to both of them, because sometimes as a man, you don't immediately want to talk to your dad about something, and maybe you want to see a secondary opinion, and maybe Paulie can be that shoulder that Frankie can lean on before he talks to his dad about a situation, whatever it may be.
That's all hopeful stuff. I'll say, just putting a pin in it as far as my opinions here. I just think what I'm learning by watching it is you clear space for what's important. So Dolores, I of course miss Frank. If he's not going to be coming around, I'll miss that. But if Paulie says that doesn't suit me, and Dolores says, you know what, I got to take focus on me finally, it really is a calling card for clear space for what's important. You can't be in your present when you're still with your past all the time. That's what I picked up from this. Yeah.
I hear you. I acknowledge you.
He's like, I still want Frank on every episode. I do too.
No.
I do too.
No. I completely agree with what you're saying. I don't want Frank on every episode. What I'm saying is that I just want Frank and Paulie to have a bond. To have the bond, and I want them to be both part of the men's group. I don't need Frank to be all involved in it. But what I do like is having a healthy, functional parenting relationship, because that's not anything I've ever really witnessed.
Yeah.
Across friends, across family. Like, it's always so hard for, secondary parents, or like for just people to be okay. Like, get it together. It's not about you. It's about the kids. Get it together. Like, at the end of the day, Dolores still has two children with Frank who are going to be like, it's so much easier and safer because it snows in New Jersey. if your kids are driving to one destination for the holidays instead of trying to drive to Frank's house, to drive to Dolores' house, to drive to the in-laws' house, and then if that in-law has a divorce, then to drive to that. Think about this. If everyone was just able to to get along with their exes for the children and put their differences aside and get over their egos, your kids would be a lot safer driving in the snow for the holidays, going from one couple's house for the in-laws to the other house, which is the other in-laws. And so that's how my mind works.
True.
I could have a kid with anybody and, and work that out if we didn't necessarily work out. Like, tangent time.
Here we go.
Tangent time.
Our shows are so, we're going to get this show done in 30 minutes. Does it ever happen? No.
Tangent time. And this will be real quick. And then we're going to, because we're perfect transition going into babies.
Okay, perfect.
So I had dated someone back in the day. Person reached out to me during the pandemic while I was filming my show. Cool. Everything's cool. Solid. I don't have any feelings towards you. I moved on. I have my relationship. I'm very happy in what I do. I'm in a very happy place. I was in the most happiest place that I've been in a long time because I was filming a network television show and I was like at the height of my hopes and dreams, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Had a good conversation. Ended on a good note. Reached out to them not too long ago. Hey, how you doing? I see actually that we live closer than we realized. Like, let's meet up. I want to see how you're doing. I want to see how your family's doing. Completely blew it out of proportion. And I'm like, what is wrong with people?
Wait, who blew what out of proportion?
One of the people that I had dated. Completely blew it out of proportion. I'm dating someone. I'm happy. And I'm like, did anybody mention that you were not happy? And also, I'm in a relationship too. What did you think was going to happen? But
like he came with
put your
tension.
Feelings aside, because you can't put your feelings aside or whatever. Like, mind you, this has been 10 plus years. Like, what? Like, you reached out to me first and we were good. And then now there's a switch up. Like, what changed? Nothing changed, right? So, but had we had a kid together, we would have had to make it work anyway. So I don't see why people can't get over themselves to make it work for the children. But besides that, speaking of children, I actually want to talk about Rachel and her husband being vulnerable in this episode, talking about Rachel's infertility. And that's not something, I mean, it's something that we've come across before in Housewives, but Rachel is a younger housewife. She's my age. That's not something you normally see. One of my best friends has endometriosis, so she was only able to have one child. So I can see and I can hear Rachel and I understand what she's going through, but I think, wow, what a moment for just to be so vulnerable and to just, I bet you so many people have reached out to her regarding this episode already. And I just think like, wow. And to have such a strong husband that's there to support you as well. I mean, but what I laugh because Rachel's like, I'm ready to do it now. I think she said they have 5 embryos.
Oh yeah.
Like she is ready. But what did you think about that moment? I thought it was a little special moment.
Well, I love the sharing of it because it can't be easy to re-see it. I know that when we, as people go through these experiences, sometimes by turning the cameras on, we know that there's a greater good. It showcases, the tenacity that's required when you go through these situations. So I know that she probably felt like, though I don't want to really get into the weeds of it, I know that people will be affected in a positive way. But yeah, definitely challenging to go back to that year. I think it was 2017, and go back to the year thinking about like what would have been. I mean, that's the hardest part, I think, is to really take yourself back to that mindset. You start to do the calculations. This person would be, it's all the would haves, and that's really hard to envision. And she did it, and she's already become a little bit more likable, and stuff like this didn't hurt that cause. Like, she seems to be all right. Young is not what I really go for when I look at Housewives, but it was very grown up of her to show this.
But you have to remember too, like, I know young isn't kind of what we normally go for, but Kim Zolciak started the Real Housewives of Atlanta when she was 29.
Who's that?
Kim Zolciak?
Yeah, who's that?
Are you playing or like?
No, I'm not a early Housewives of Atlanta fan. Nene was very insignificant to me, as was Kim Zolciak.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. I see.
Yeah,
But
I shouldn't have done that. That was rude. Let me take that back. Edit. No.
And hold on, where's my Men in Black little?
Yeah.
Let me do my little light. No, but Kim Zolciak started when she was 29. I mean, she
Okay.
looked like she was 46, but she was 29 when she started.
Oh God, just when we started to not be shady, here he goes. She was 29. I mean, but she was busted.
You
but she
will
was
never
29.
not convince me that she was not 29 when she started Housewives of Atlanta. But
yeah,
the rumor on the street is. And then there was Gretchen Rossi, who was also in her early 30s, late 20s when she started the Real Housewives of Orange County. So I get what you're saying, but I think the young ones always kind of bring the spunkiness. And Melissa actually celebrated. Oh no, she was like 31. She celebrated her 40th birthday on Housewives of New Jersey. But she started like around the same age as Rachel.
It's true. Yeah, they're not all bad. And anyways, that's not what we were really even talking about. We were talking about more what she shared. And yeah, I mean, that's something you have to talk to the husband, and you gotta really we're gonna go back to this place. But then that's also maybe I don't want to say it that it's a bad way, but this is how you got not how you, but part of the reason you were casted to tell all of these stories. So when they do the preliminary interviews, this is what makes you good for the show, because hey, we want to share that story. So yeah, kudos to Rachel, and I love how she's finding her way on this show. And flashing forward, which we will in a second, she really ain't feeling Jen. Jen, what's her name? Jen with the nose. What's her last name?
Aiden.
Jen Aiden. Yes, Jen Aiden, the comedian. So I'm already kind of like, all right, Rachel, go ahead, Rachel. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see.
So am I, and I think she's just a good. And I hate to say these words because like we're the same age, but she's just a good kid. Like she is, and I mean that in the utmost respect and confidence. Like she's just a good person. Like and for them to be standing strong and to really willing to go through the process again of IVF or whatever she has to do in order to maintain her pregnancy, like all the power and well wishes to you, and we wish you the best. And I really hope to see it happens if this is something that she really wants. Like I really hope she's able to fulfill that dream again. And and to all the doctors that are out there that do these things for us and really help us get to that next level, like thank you so much for what you do. And I think you and I relate to this just as gay men. Like it's hard for us to have kids. It's not easy to go down to the adoption center and be like, we hear all the time that we have so many hundreds of thousands of kids across the earth that are just parentless, they're foster children, and the government and nobody makes it easy for any of us who are willing to put our lives out there to give these children a loving home. It's like you got to go through all this process, and I get it. If you have to go through a counselor to make sure that you're sane and a good human, like that's one thing, but all the fees and it costing over $120,000 so that you can adopt a child to get them out of foster care. I mean, what is our government thinking?
That's the thing. It's like we love and we see how some of the men are able to do it, or I guess this could be for lesbians as well, or for for whoever really. But we're speaking about as gay men, But it's like people do have the financial wherewithal to do it, but lots of people do. I mean, that would in my wildest dream. I'm not looking for a child anytime soon. It's not really what is in my dreams. But just knowing that it's kind of impossible because I don't have 120 left over. And not a tangent, really. It's very much in the same realm of what you're saying. I have finally been watching Family Karma on Bravo. And they are really showcasing, amongst the marriage too, they're showcasing it's Amrit and his now husband, gosh, what's his name? It's escaping me right now. But that was the whole storyline of the season and the big wedding. But within the wedding, it was them trying to have a child, and that's going to come up, maybe next season or whatever. It really did open up my eyes on how quite difficult that is. Yeah.
I also think that it relates more to you and I just as gay men, because a lot of times with same-sex female couples, they can get a sperm donor from a brother or like a close family member so that DNA still matches. And pretty much creates the two DNA lines of family that bridges the family together, versus like when two men try to have a baby, like there's really no way to transition or like to intertwine that DNA, let alone you just can't ask somebody for an egg and be like, well, we'll take care of it from here. We just need the egg. But like a lot of times female same-sex couples will reach out to a relative of, you know, one of the sides of the family, and the other one will carry the baby and they'll use their egg. And so for us, I think I relate so much to this because it's like, I think I've always wanted to be a father, and I've just always tried to level myself up so that I can make enough money, and going back to the money, so that I can actually have a healthy surrogate, actually be able to provide for this child. So like, not only do you need the 120,000, you need 80,000 for a surrogate. You need to pay for all the health and well-being and prenatal care that comes along with it. And then you have to pay for the delivery out of pocket as a gay male. And it's like, you know, it's so impossible for us. And I really wish that we were in a more accepting government where they were really pushing for us to have a better life. But unfortunately, we see that that's not the case. And so again, like when I hear Rachel talk about this, like it just kind of sits within me of like, will I ever have that moment? Because I love kids. But then again, our world is going to shit. So like, you know, we see the planet is practically burning up as we speak, but like we have to reverse all the damage that we're doing. But again, seeing something like this, it hits to home because it's like, will I ever have that moment for myself? And so, Rachel, I appreciate you for mentioning, you know, your infertility, and I really wish you all the best. And I hope that you guys are able to build the family that you want. And I hope that it comes with, you know, less obstacles than you had the first time. But I know the journey can get tough from what my friend has told me, and her issues with endometriosis. And, you know, speaking of kids, Teresa bringing her daughters into the mix with her and Melissa, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh gosh, you know, a lot of Teresa fans always weigh in, and I'm like trying so hard to see their side, but I don't know. You just don't see the opposing side of that. Maybe the kids are younger. I think we've said that before in these episodes. You don't see Melissa riling up her kids to like talk about their aunt or their aunts, you know. But yet again, and the saddest thing is it becomes like something that goes on Twitter as a meme, like, oh, that was a serve, such and such. You know, Gabriella hasn't said anything, but the first thing she said in all these years is her aunt ain't shit. It's like, what? This is not something I want to celebrate, even if I don't like either of the parties. You know, I'm a Melissa all day, every day type of stan, but I don't want to see negativity with Teresa, you know, so I'm just going to keep my comments limited because there's just so much going on in that feud.
You know what? You know what bugs me is like I've seen all over the internet that people want. They mentioned that Caroline Manzo's daughter came on the reunion to ask Teresa how to spell napalm, and they're like, if she can come on to ask Teresa, I believe her name. No, that Ashley was Jacqueline's daughter. I'll think of the other one in just a minute, but if she can come on to ask Teresa how to spell napalm, then definitely Gia needs to be invited to the reunion so that she can talk about her uncle, confront these issues. Here's the difference for me. Caroline's daughter is not physically related to Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
Gia is physically related to the Gorgas, and the last thing you want to do is involve your children in on this feud that's going on, because brothers and sisters can fight, as you and I know. We may fuss and cuss, but at the end of the day, we figure it out. We come back together and we work it out. We don't involve the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are rare occasions as you get older and you become an adult in your 30s and 40s where you can cross those lines because you're old enough to formulate an opinion and create your own relationship and establish that with the other side. And so you can have an adult perspective and say, you know, I really don't like the way you treated me over the years. You've never reached out to me. You haven't been there for me as an individual, and all the other things that come along with it. You haven't showed up to major events that I invite you to. Those things all take account for. But Gia has not had very many milestones in her life. And that isn't to negate her as an individual or like what she's achieved. You know what I mean? I don't think she's finished college yet. If she is going to, or maybe she just finished college, but like hasn't got married, doesn't have a child. Like those are milestones, right? Just take a step back. Don't attack your aunt and uncle, because again, we're in this generation now where people feel that they can disrespect their elders, and I'm not here for it. You really got to we got to take a step back and get back to the place of respect your elders, learn about life before you speak. Because we were always told not to interfere in any situations with any aunts or uncles. You know, and I'm in my 30s now. Now I can finally say something because I'm old enough to have built and established a relationship. You know, so there's that. But again, Gia's only 21, 22 now, because you figure the season was shot last year. I don't think Teresa should involve her daughters in on what's going on, and I don't like it. Yeah. Again, like you said, Melissa doesn't involve Antonia and what's going on because they're kids. And you heard Gia in the next episode state how much she misses her cousins, and it's like,
yeah, do what you can to keep that bridge open for the sake of the kids. Like, you know, yes, speaking of our own personal, and I'm not mentioning names or anything, but I've seen this one doesn't talk to this one, doesn't talk to this one, but still at the end of the day, everyone's responsible for at least allowing the others to continue on, because it's not, you don't force your kids into taking a side where they're, you know, really shitting on their aunts. You know, that's something that I don't like. But beyond that, I'm just trying to go off of, because I always try to say, like, okay, if you are a Teresa fan, can you tell me what it is that makes Teresa great? And one thing I noticed, and this is just something I'm going to present, because the Teresa fans will say stuff like, well, they don't know, and whatever. It's like, it's not that I don't know. This is my opinion. There's not a knowing. There's no knowing involved. It's an opinion. And this is what I will say. In my opinion, Teresa, when they have the feud, she does promote and kind of go with things that really will tear down, like a Melissa or a Joe. Whereas Melissa or Joe, when they have their issues with Teresa, they don't do it in the same manner. You know what I mean? They don't care about Teresa like that. They probably are upset that they're having issues, but they're not trying to also, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm having a tough time explaining it because it is just a little redundant. And it feels like, here's the best way to say it. Feels like Teresa fans are very interested in Melissa. Melissa fans, I'm a Melissa fan all day, every day. Don't like Teresa, but don't care about Teresa. Like, let her be. Go live, sweetie. Go live. Go. If Louie is the guy, go. Whereas Teresa fans, and it's funny because they're the ones who say, like, oh, Melissa doesn't have a storyline. Melissa's fly wherever she is. In the words of Giselle Bryant, I'm the baddest wherever I am in the room, or something like that on season 1. Melissa's fine. It feels different. To love Melissa and be a Melissa stan, we don't care about Teresa. But Teresa fans really hate Melissa. Just knock it off. That's all I'll say.
I mean, and there's such, like, I'm so tired of the storyline of Teresa and Melissa fighting, Joe and Melissa fighting. Like, it is tired. Let it go, Keisha Cole. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Okay. Matter of fact, I've geared up.
Keisha.
I've geared up a little. I went online and I found a compilation of all the fights that Teresa and Melissa have had. So let's check it out.
You look like the devil right now.
You're the devil. You're wearing red. It matches you.
All of a sudden, you're a weak bitch who can't defend yourself?
I can stick up for myself. I'm not the one making him explode. Capiche?
Get
Say
your
this to
hands
me.
off of me.
Say it to me.
Do not touch me. I'll press charges right now.
Mother of God.
It's ridiculous, and it keeps
All right,
going.
now, guys, I want you to read this card.
Teresa and Joe, God bless you
guys. And you're what? Redone.
For real?
No, redone.
Baby.
He is freaked out over that.
He's freaked out.
Uh-oh. Not Kim D, baby.
Thank you for
Well,
your
that's not
sorrow
very
and pain.
God bless you guys in your redone home.
Nice.
The house was gutted, completely rebuilt. It's really just such a silly play on words. It's just petty.
That's a person with no class right there.
Right, exactly.
She got no class. She didn't wake up. She didn't grow up with class.
Who writes redone? Are you serious? Like, who writes that?
The old Teresa would call her and be like, bitch.
But no, the new Teresa.
Wait, so that's season 3, episode 4. Okay.
I
The
could do
old
with that.
Teresa?
I could do without that.
Aren't we still with the same Teresa? The one that's gonna call
Yeah.
her and call her we're like with the same Teresa, baby.
Yeah.
Teresa, don't kid nobody but yourself. We're 9 seasons forward and you're still acting the same.
Well, anybody who has to proclaim they're in their namaste moment and keeping it as an identity might be they're not carrying it out. You only say you're nice to tell the world, but you might not be it. You act upon your nice. You act upon your namaste Zen vibes. Saying it and proclaiming it does nothing. There's that. I don't want to talk about the early seasons per se because I've said many a times I wasn't really a huge Jersey fan early on. Really, once Melissa came in,
I've loved it since the beginning.
And you know, I'm sure there's gonna be somebody with the mouth that's slick that's like, oh well, he doesn't know because of this. Doesn't matter. I remember season 1. I just was like, Teresa was boring to me. Like she didn't do anything. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that. What I'm gonna say is I think it's a little challenging when you going back to the Teresa and the daughters thing, and this is more in the current stages here, and you make it like, oh well, Melissa said she was there for us and she really wasn't. One thing I think people need to realize and understand is Teresa's the one who was going down. You know what I mean? Like she was sinking. I just feel like it's very like, gosh, what a lack of gratitude. Maybe they didn't step up. Maybe they didn't step up to the way you would have wanted, Teresa. But you were the ones who put yourself, you and Juicy Joe, put yourself in these situations. And I'm glad that they've all overcome it. I really am. But like it's like as if I were to make an error that causes, so much havoc in my life. The people that are there to help me, I can't critique them for like them not helping the way that I want. And that has always been a little bit confusing to me. I don't know. I have such low energy today.
No, like I'm so like, look, hold on.
I'm trying. Teresa fans, I am only saying what I'm saying because I am trying to get it. I think you guys don't, Teresa fans. I don't think you understand fully sometimes what it's like. Like, sure, they're not really talking at all right now, but as a like I have a sister. And I think it's a very interesting place that Joe was going to be in once Louie came into the picture, but Louie had a lot of red flags. We're not even giving the grace to like Joe and Melissa that they said they went with it. Like Melissa says, he came into our home. He met my family, but they may not have liked him. And they might have been like, I don't really want my, if it's Joe, I don't want my sister getting involved with him. It could cause havoc later. We just got out of Juicy Joe. Now we're going to get into something else. As an older brother, well, Joe's not older, but as a brother, no less. But for me, as an older brother, there is a trepidation when you see your sister dating, and where you will have
100%. I can,
and I don't think that's ever like acknowledged in the conversation. That's it. That's done.
Yeah, like look, it's that simple. It's also that simple. Like I can have opinions on the men that my sisters have dated, and I have. But there's a way to go about it, and there's a way to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I will say is that when it comes to being an in-law, comes to being a sister-in-law, I will say my sister-in-law does a beautiful job of this. She lets us fight as siblings. And she's like, I'm not in it, baby. I'm gonna sit here with my glass of wine with my mother-in-law, and we can enjoy all you fools. All you fools eat each other up, and you can come around when you're ready.
She said,
and my
I didn't get
sister-in-law does a great job of that, and I love that she does that because siblings can hit below the belt.
Yeah.
Once an in-law hits below the belt, it's like, oh, hell breaks loose, right? So Teresa needs to stop involving Melissa. She has an issue with her brother. Have the issue with your brother. Let it be. Stop involving your in-laws. Now, as men, and that's being a little contradictory because as men, we can have opinions on our brother-in-laws. I had an opinion on my ex-brother-in-law. I made it very well stated. I told my sister, I can't respect him because I work 3 times as hard as him, and you're struggling because you're trying to save his ass.
Ooh.
And I'm tired of seeing it.
Now it's getting personal now.
And no, and my sister completely agreed with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was tired of seeing it. And so we had that conversation, and she was like, thank you for saying that, because she felt that way. But I guess it was like not having, I don't know if it's like the validation or like whatever, but like sometimes it feels good to hear people say things, and especially coming from a blood relative. So if Joe didn't like Louie, then Joe should have went to Teresa and said, look, you're famous. You've been on this show for 10 plus seasons, and I don't think he's here for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe don't shoot with him for 2 seasons and see how he acts with you before you decide to move forward with him, because I love you and I want the best for you.
Yeah.
And I think maybe he's just here for the fame and the fortune. His kids look like good kids, and I believe they respect you and get along with you, and they probably get along with your kids. But I don't know if this is the right move, and I don't know if he's the right man. He might do a lot of great things, but I just want you to be careful, because he came into the picture real fast. You're moving real fast, and now you're going into.
And hopefully he is the right guy.
Hopefully he is.
But what I'm saying is, like, everyone's, now that it's in celebratory stage, and love bubble moment. Don't bust my love bubble. It's like, I don't know, because again, you could critique and say, well, Joe wasn't there for her at the, at this party or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's just doesn't know what to do. He's trying his best, but I will assure you that when everything, if anything, pray doesn't, falls through the cracks, and like she kind of gets, what is she doesn't have a prenup. Doesn't he not have a job right now? Like, it's a lot of potential and already going into, Marge last season showed the video of some of his stuff, and he's got a bunch of, things that are allegedly on, had done this or that. And I also do understand those women could have made stuff up. The moment somebody gets the limelight, all of a sudden everyone has something to say. I will acknowledge that on Louie's behalf, but it's just, again, it's so fast. I'm telling you, if I, as like an older brother, if I were to see my sister, I feel very odd, because I know that while everybody is celebrating now, when it all clears and things get bad, I'm essentially going to be the one who is going to be there for you. And so it just hurts that Teresa doesn't listen to Joe and Melissa on their side of things. It's very one-sided. But anyways, I'm done talking about Teresa for the moment.
Oh, also, you said love bubble twice. So if anybody who's watching who was of age to have an adult beverage, go ahead and take a drink, and cheers to that from nobody popping my love bubble here, my love nest. So nobody popping anybody Ronnie's love bubble that he's going to meet before World Pride 2025.
That's right. All the manifestation. You got to watch all of our shows to know about all that. We refer to a lot of stuff from the other episodes. And you know what? Go watch them all. Just do it.
And matter of fact, while we have you here, I just got to find it. Hold on, bear with me.
I could talk in the meantime. One thing I thought was fun was Danielle saying, "Oh, I want to be around Melissa. Melissa's fun." And it's like, Danielle is supposed to be Teresa's girl, and she has the freedom to talk to who she wants. But it made for a really good scene, because we find out that Danielle has the infraction with her own brother, and what that brother-in-law, sister-in-law stuff feels like, and from a different perspective. I think Danielle's going to be a huge benefit to this show.
Look, I'm 100% Danielle fan. There's a couple things that were a little questionable in the next episode, but we'll get to that as we get closer.
We'll talk.
But like Ronnie said, we do talk a lot. We do reference each other's podcasts. So if you get a chance, and while you're here, please hit like, subscribe, forward this, share it with your friends who are Housewives fanatics. Head over to Ronnie's YouTube channel at Randomly Ronnie Jr. Go to his Randomly RJ Pod Instagram, Randomly RJ Instagram, personal Instagram. Like, share, subscribe, send it to all your housewife fanatics. And if you're Latino, one thing that Ronnie and I like to do is we like to grow the Latino data base, and we like to elevate it. So please do that for us as well. If you want us to share any of your stuff as Latino content creators, please let us know. It's one like to elevate the community.
It is. It was my fault. I cut you off, but it is okay. It's one of the reasons that we did decide to really cover Real Housewives of Miami. We loved the culture of that. Yeah. And then speaking on, the American Latino experience, the Latinx experience in general. I had worked for American Latino TV. It was at the time a nationally syndicated show for about 10 years. So the amount of storytelling that I did in that vein was always it meant a lot to me. So I'm just co-signing that. Yes and yes, and go to the channel. Yes, yes, and yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, and come see us. Come hang with us. Leave me some comments. DM me. Let me know how you feel. Don't leave Ronnie comments because he ain't gonna respond to you.
Don't talk to me.
He's gonna forward them to me to respond to you. So you might as well just let me know what you think.
Don't you think I want to talk to you? Nope. Nope. No.
And then there's me. I'm like, I love you. I'm an Aquarius. I have the Aquarius colors in the background.
I'm doing a recap, but I don't love you. I love the show, but I don't love you. No, I mean, if Donna Marco, Melissa's mother, slides in the DMs, I would be like, oh, Donna Marco, let's talk. But no. You don't talk to me.
Okay, Teresa.
I was such a grumpy asshole.
Don't talk to me. Okay, going back to Teresa. Let's talk about how they somewhat made up, right? So there was this whole argument that went down.
I didn't ask you. Let's just put it on the table. It was about Margaret. I felt like you weren't sticking up for me. I mean,
Now you're gonna piss me off.
No, I'm not trying to.
No. How many times did I tell you to shut up about Louie?
She said drop it.
I said, why do you keep talking? It's not going to change her mind. She loves him.
If you would have told her to
Should
stop.
So I'm the bad guy. Is that what I just heard?
I'm just telling you how I was feeling.
Stop putting it on me.
I was trying
Stop
to
putting
say,
it on me. I didn't do it. I am sick of you putting on me.
You started.
No, this is what's not happening in my life anymore.
Okay, all right.
Somehow, some way, all roads lead to Melissa. She will never blame herself.
You're my sister-in-law, and to me, family is everything. You know that.
I'm so sick of this. Stop saying family.
Yeah, I'm not saying family.
Don't.
And like right after that, then Teresa asked Melissa if she wanted to be in the wedding. And then Melissa was like, well, no, it's like an ex-boyfriend being like, sorry, I messed up, but please take me back. And it's true.
And people who think the other way, that like Teresa, they thought that was really, people just don't have characters, what I've learned. They thought that was very like, Melissa, she needs to be arguing with Teresa. It's her only paycheck, it's her only storyline. No. I'm more of the vibe of, no, you ain't going to give me a consolation prize. I'm still going to chew you out on what you did, but there's no consolation prize. Now, if you really want me to go, you're going to say, I want you to go. I thought it through, this, and this. But you're not going to just in front of a group of people unceremoniously be like, well, what? You want to go then? Like, even that tone I don't like. Not that Teresa really gave that tone, but I know I've had communication issues with family before where a lot of their answers turn into, what? Don't you what me? Once you what me, whatever you
don't you, baby, don't you what?
Once you what me, anything after that, I'm looking at it a little bit differently. Like, you know what I mean?
Red eyes.
Yeah. But at least they mended it a little bit though.
You know what?
Yeah.
Jen Aiden actually weighed in on Watch What Happens Live about the Teresa Melissa thing. And here's what she had to say.
Table.
Yes.
You do not.
I was there.
Because if she wanted them there, they would have been there.
Okay.
Period.
Do you think there will be any truth to whatever Margaret's ex-bestie is so
Hold on, let me go back from the front just so you know what the question was.
Faithful. Jennifer and Suri, use your finely tuned lie detecting abilities to tell me if each of the following Jersey residents are living in their truth or not. Do you believe that Teresa really wanted Joe and Melissa at her and Louie's table?
Yes.
You do not.
I was there.
Because if she wanted them there, they would have been there.
Okay.
So look, I agree with the other guest. If she wanted them there, she would have been there because you and I come from that type of background where it's like, you make it happen regardless of the scenario, regardless of, I told the party planner that I wanted her to be next to me and the party planner said no. I don't care what the party planner said. I am paying the party planner. The party planner is going to do whatever I want them to do.
Yeah.
Not to be condescending, but at the end of the day, if you get it wrong, you'll get it right. Trust me. You'll get it right because you'll get the rest of your money and that's how you're going to get it right. Okay. So if I want my brother, mind you, I only have one brother as well.
Yeah.
If I have my one brother and I'm getting married and I want him, or my engagement party, I want my brother next to me and I want my sister-in-law with him, it's going to happen regardless of how these people sit down. Even if somebody accidentally sits there, I'm like, oh, no, baby, that's for my brother. Let me just have you scoot down about 19 chairs. Okay. And I'm going to have my sisters right here. So y'all are in the way. Thank you so much. again, that lady made a very valid statement. She wanted it, it would have happened. So Jen Aiden saying that, oh, she wanted them there, I call bullshit.
Well, I think Jen is in turmoil because she knows that her claim to fame was that she was the only one who would really film with Teresa while Danielle's there, and she is 100 times more interesting. So Jen is, yeah, she's worried. And she shouldn't be. She's got a beautiful home. She's got more things that I got. I mean, not talent wise, I got more than she's got in that field. But you know, people look at this show for validation so much. So she's worried. She's on high alert right now. She's trying to make a moment. And by the way, we got to go off instincts and stuff. The gal that was the other guest was from Traders, who, without giving a spoiler, favorably did very well.
Oh, did she?
So Traders is that show that's on Peacock streaming. It's the same platform. Who? With who?
Your friend.
Oh, is it the cast member you don't like?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. You're sticking to that. No, but Traders. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, no, Traders is on Peacock streaming. So as we always say, if you're on Peacock streaming, Russell's show was Create the Escape. So go right there on Peacock streaming and just type out Create the Escape. It's an escape room. It's a very wholesome show. So it's not as dramatic as some of the things we're talking about. But yeah, he starred in that show. So that's really cool.
And actually, speaking of Traders, as we do like to, I'm trying to find her Instagram page because Humberto sent it to me. We do like to elevate Latino and Latinas or Latinx creators and like talent. And actually, Humberto went to Everest College with Geraldine, who was on Traders. Here's a picture of her.
Oh,
and that's her Instagram. She just came out with a new song. So if you know Geraldine, I will put her information and thing. If you follow her, go check her out, check out her song, you know, like good for her. Like she started just like you and I from the bottom and she built her career. So
yeah. Well, I'm at the top now, just so you know, just people haven't caught up with it, but they will learn. They're going to learn today.
Okay. Say it again. They're going to learn today.
No, that was an interesting clip though. And yeah, Jen has every right to have those opinions. I just don't think she's correct.
Yeah, and I feel that, but again, like call it out when it's wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You know what I mean?
Most friends do that. Most friends say, "Yo, let me pull you to the side." Jen doesn't want to do that. She wants to be attached to. Speaking of wanting to be attached to Teresa, it's Jen, the comedian.
Like I honestly feel like that's the only leg she has to stand on right now.
Yeah, that clip you played was quite. I was going to fall asleep.
Oh.
If you would have put a no, that's not a diss on you. I'm sorry.
No, tonight though, when you need something to watch to go to bed, I'll send it to you.
Send me a best of Jen Aiden, and it will help me with my sleep issues. And now I'll flip it.
I'll melatonin anymore. It's free.
No more. I'll put on the best of Jen Aiden, only Jen Aiden clips. You know, like a super cut, and we'll put that. I'll put that on, and it'll make. I'll go to sleep in 5 minutes. It's no.
Look, I found the cure. I found you a cure. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Because she's boring. She's boring. She's boring. But you know what everyone likes to say then? They're like, well, how could you say that? You're a nobody. You're washed up. She's on a show. Bitch, I am the fucking prize right now, no matter where I'm at. Understand? I need to stop being so combative.
I'm sorry. Do you know what you know my pedigree? Wait a minute.
It's the people that are just so in awe of others. I could never. Baby. I like Melissa, but I could never in awe. No, Melissa's dope, and I think Melissa and I she would be a great interview. You know, game recognized game type thing. She'd be like, "Oh, I like Ronnie," but the way you all, whoever likes Teresa and stuff, the way you all grovel over people, I could never. I like J-Lo, but I'm not groveling. Thank you very much.
Yeah, look. Anybody who has a question, I have been published on TMZ TV, TMZ the website, AfterBuzz TV the website, and the network. I've also been published on E! News. Thank you very much. And I'm on the Peacock Network full time. You can check it out. It's called Create the Escape.
What is this called? This is like a he's got receipts. It's like a receipt before you're giving the
If I had the slide, I'd pull it up, but I don't have the slide yet. But if you Google my name, Russell Ray Silva, you will see me on the banister and on the billboard, baby. Thank you.
This show has got us talking. This Housewives, It's provoking conversation.
Speaking of provoking conversation, let's talk about how Joe provoked Louie during that whole table scenario.
Yeah. I liked the group. I'm not tired of it. Some people are. I'm not tired of all the men coming together. I think it's great. Louis did look very unfavorable in that, very smart ass ish. I know that Joe's a little too cavemanish on times, a little bit, but yeah, it didn't leave a favorable mark on Louis. No.
And you know what was cool about Louis in that moment is that he got through it. He didn't let Joe get to him. And like I rarely give kudos to anything
he wasn't
on
shook,
Teresa's side, but he really took control of the conversation, and he did like I was saying what my sister-in-law does. She takes herself out of it, which is like, this is your problem with your sibling. You figure it out. And so he's like, call her. She's hurting, or like, you guys figure it out. This ain't has nothing to do with me. And it's true. It doesn't make Louis any less of a man to not tell his wife what she shouldn't do, because anybody who is marrying a woman knows that you give your wife full control of the wedding and she calls the shots, because that is her day. She's been waiting for it for a very, very long time. In a gay relationship, it's a little different, just a tad. So that works itself out. But again, Teresa was going to do this however she wanted. She had been through turmoil and back. She went to prison, high school, college, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
She went there. She got a divorce. She was raising her daughters, had to figure out her life all over again, and now she's here.
Yeah.
So
there's no fault in her wanting the happy ending.
Yeah.
But it's like when you have so much to lose, you have to be very wary of who you associate with. And again, hopefully what's his name? Louis. Hopefully Louis is perfect for her. Hopefully. But no prenup, some of the stuff, like, you kind of want to like get in a situation where you make sure they weather the storm. I think you mentioned it too. Like, be together for 3 years, 4 years. This is all. I mean, even when they were talking like toe to toe of like, I know this or I know that. I can't remember what the thing was, but it was like Louis only had about 21 months to reference. Like he barely knows. He doesn't even know Teresa just yet.
Yeah, like I've been with sister almost 2 years. There's things that I'm still learning about Shane, and it's been well over 3.
I mean, it's a valid point.
And I know that, and I acknowledge that, and he knows that, and he acknowledges that when we have conversations. There's things that like are involved in his family that I like, whether good or bad. Like I can't jump into a conversation that I have no rapport on. So like, again, I'm sick and tired of Teresa and Joe fighting. I have a clip for that too. Here we go.
You want my husband that bitch?
No, stop. Could you just listen?
I'm listening.
This is why she's upset. Because I always fight for you, and then when we're together, you knock on us. That's why she's mad.
I just said he did the right thing. I wanted you to be happy that he did the right thing.
I'm mad at the son of a bitch for what he did to you. He ruined everything, and he put you in jail. My wife is 100% right. You're gonna defend him? She's 1,000%, and I held my tongue. I don't want to stop it.
Just go.
I don't want to hear it. That piece of he put my mother in a grave.
Ooh.
It's hard to watch, but you know what? Again, even Gia getting involved, there's so much history between, I was gonna call him Big Joe and Little Joe, between Joe Gorga and Joe Giudice. And Joe Gorga has all the validation he needs to feel the way that he feels about that situation. I would be mad if someone put my sister in prison, but I could also get past it once the scenario's over because they have children and be like, you know what? You're being a good father to your kid. Like, I can't fault you.
Yeah.
Like there's things, and again, like I was saying, Gia hasn't had milestones. There's things that she hasn't been through that she can't really speak on yet. So like, and Joe and Joe have known each other since they were kids, so there's so much history before and after. And like, even Joe Gorga recently posting with him, they ran into each other at a restaurant, and then Gia commented on it. It's like, yeah, Joe has every right to still be mad about Joe putting Teresa in prison for the shady deals that he was doing. but he can also still have some love there for him because that's the father of his nieces. And you can still love your nieces even though that's their father. And you can still talk bad about their father to anybody minus the kids. Like, don't talk to children about their parents being idiots, right? But you can still do these things, and there can still be a lot of different emotions, but that's just the function of that relationship. Like, it happened. You have to acknowledge it. You're upset. You got to get it out. Joe and Joe have fist fought before. Like, there's so much that has happened. And again, Teresa seems to always be on the wrong side of things.
Well, here's one thing too. If you, let's say you don't want to agree with what I kind of was saying earlier, or if you want to arc it towards, Joe too cavemanish, whatever you want to call it, notice that all of these situations are like everyone having to come and be there for Teresa. Like, it's not as far as I know, it's not really the other way around. It's not like Joe being in a predicament and Teresa's got to like show her loyalty. Everything is about Teresa's constant amount of errors. Like, I'm sorry about it that she's had all these issues. I feel for her. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I do. But like, it's not the other way around. And I just wish Teresa would give a little bit of that to Joe. Like, I keep getting in these situations. You don't even feel bad about it. It happens. But where you're putting a really like rigid rules, for your brother, and if he doesn't hit those exactly the way you want, he's suddenly a bad brother. It's confusing, it's complicated. How the heck am I gonna feel where I'm like, I don't like that man because of the things he did, but I still grew up with him, like you said, still the father of the nieces, he still is family to a degree, but I still want to have the hurt. And it wasn't like Joe was just outwardly coming up with that in the clip, that conversation. It was in reaction to Teresa saying Melissa should have protected me more. Like, why are we always the team Melissa Joe people? Again, why do we always
need someone else to protect us? Why do we always need that? Melissa's not your man. Melissa's not your man. Melissa's not your brother. Melissa ain't your girlfriend. Okay.
Shit.
So why does Melissa have to continuously defend you amongst women?
Goodness. I mean, Melissa's like,
did you not throw a table at Danielle Staub in season 1? You sure did.
Yeah.
So I know the things you were capable. Did you not throw Andy Cohen back on the couch in season 2? I know you did. So I know you're capable of protecting yourself. Now, whether Melissa was engaging in that is different, but maybe she's tired of defending.
And also,
you just don't shut up.
I'm not going to get into any specifics, but I'm not going to get into any specifics, and we are going to move on, I believe, in this moment. But, you know who's real stupid? Twitter is real stupid. Because a lot of times the people will go to Twitter as their reference point, and they'll be like, oh, but Melissa can't be right because Louie leaked these texts. Okay, let's break that down. What do we always say, Russell? We always talk about this. If and this doesn't happen because you and I have such a good friendship, and we make sure we never really, we could be critical, of course, but we never tear anyone else down of our friends or whatever, or just even whoever, because all that's doing is saying, oh, wow, well, dang, that's one of Russell's good friends. And let's just hypothetical. This is definitely didn't happen, but that's one of his good friends. And he is just, tearing him down. Well, what the heck does he do when I walk away? There's that element. So you all who decide, oh, well, Louie leaked this, so it must be right. Those text messages are for personal. Like, we're trying to make, I'm not saying us, it's the family. They're trying to make things work. And if you leak certain parts of a text message without context, you could paint any story you want. You notice who doesn't do that? Melissa. She doesn't leak the whatever. She ooh. With the grammar over here, I'm sorry, it's been a long day. She is I said she does be doing this. No, she does articulate a lot on her podcast, but I listen to it. It always tracks and it always gets viral moments. And she doesn't try to get them. She just is that fly. And it's a space for her to go and express, these are the things that we're struggling with in relation to. So we've got to drop the narrative of, she's nothing without the storyline. I'll tell you one thing. She could leave the show next week. Just like I say, Larsa's my favorite on Miami. Let her leave. Let you try to let Larsa leave and see how the show fails. Let Melissa go. Show will go on. I get it. But she's not going to, what you think she's going to go into a cave? Like Melissa's a baddie. She's winning all day, every day. I need to stop. I need to stop.
I mean, look, I have a snippet from her podcast, which is what caused a lot of turmoil between these two.
Look at you with the
Everyone on
production
cast
value.
except for me. Teresa was away in prison.
Joe wasn't working at all either, so they had no income.
That Teresa went to prison show was able to be made because Joe needed someone to film with, and here we were. He had us to bounce off of and someone to talk to on it.
How you holding up with the girls?
They're good, you know what I mean? There's times, you know what I mean, that they're a pain in the ass, but I tell you, man, you took a beating, bro, and you're still going. That's it.
What we were saying is when the family's down and you needed us, we stepped up to the plate. Put food on the table. All right, let's twist that and string it out, throw it the wrong way. I mean, come on.
I will watch. You go.
I don't think there was anything wrong in saying that. I think the truth is the truth, and you have to acknowledge it. And like, oh, you know what? Like, my brother did film with Joe despite the anger he had towards him, and I appreciate that because it was able to get Joe back up on his feet because he had already had all these shady deals, and I didn't know if he was going to be able to. None of us knew what was going to come of his businesses now. So there's that.
Yeah.
But I do want to say something on that first?
No, go ahead.
What I do want to do is go to the phone call and how awkward it was between Joe and Teresa to make up. Let's see. Hold on.
Do you feel comfortable calling?
Yeah, it's fine.
You do? Okay, good.
I want to be in my love bubble. That's a party's the
Take a
love
drink.
bubble. I'm having a love bubble housewarming party. So I invite everyone. Can't wait for you guys to come
another
over.
drink.
If he wants to move on, we move on. If he doesn't,
I gotta
wish
pee.
him all the best.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if he answers.
Teresa's calling me, okay? Hello?
Hi.
What's up?
I'm happy you answered the phone.
All right. What's going on?
You tell me.
Nothing. It's all good. And that's it, okay?
So you want to make peace?
Peace, yeah, peace. Done. Finita.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that.
I mean, do you want to talk about anything to make you feel better?
No, I just want to move forward. No talking, because talking upsets me.
Okay.
So?
No, I mean, listen.
My therapist said it's not good to talk about the past because you're never going to get anywhere.
That's why I just said I don't want to talk about it. Because if you talk about things, that's it.
Resurfaces.
Are you coming to my housewarming party?
I don't know.
I mean, and I think that was a fair response. I think I don't know was a fair response because as we saw, and well, they somewhat make peace, right? So there's that because I have all these slides ready, y'all. So I just want to make sure I touch on all of them. So they somewhat make peace, and then Teresa has her housewarming party, and then Joe actually doesn't show up, and Melissa shows up. Danielle says that she's walk out with the tray, and we love a girl that could eat. We do appreciate you, Danielle. She said, "I didn't bring my things." She said, "I'll walk out with the tray." We appreciate that comment. But then Teresa and Louie go into saying we welcome or we want to thank all of our chosen family for being here. And then she talked about having sisters. She doesn't have sisters, but now she has sisters. So now she's not considering Melissa a sister. So it's like, it's her choice of words, I think, that gets her in trouble. And I'm like, ooh, why would you say that? And Melissa ended up leaving the party crying. So I mean, oh God, it's so messy. And again, I'm over it. Like, just stop fighting.
Everyone is. And again, I always will try to see the Teresa side of it because I don't want to be so one-sided. However, I think there's just such a narrative behind like, oh, Melissa's only as relevant. Like, if you think of life as relevant, that's just an odd thing, but only as relevant as Teresa. And yeah, of course she's crying. because she wants to keep this drum this thing up. But where no one's really speaking upon is how everything is about Teresa, and like how, again, we mentioned it a second ago, how she wasn't satisfied with what Joe and Melissa did for her. No one is allowing an ounce of conversation of like, we feel a little what do you call it, a lack of gratitude. Like, you were in these situations. Like, I mean, we could have turned her back or whatever. We stepped up. No one's allowing that feeling, and it's just such an odd narrative to me to be like, Melissa only cares because she needs to be in that beef, or else her paycheck's dependent on it. No, she's the baddest chick no matter where she is. Period, point blank, always. But I liked to see her. Well, I didn't like to see her sad, but I didn't mind seeing her sad because it just felt like releasing that tension. Like, I need to release this. Like, there's only so much I can do. Go save face with the kids. Go tell Teresa, please, enough. Like, this is what I don't like. Enough. Like, she keeps trying to do the best that she can, and she's not outwardly coming with the, you didn't do this, you didn't defend me. That's what Teresa's doing to her. And it's just like, I don't work for you. I'm your family.
And girl, you got a man now. If you want anybody to defend you, let it be your man.
Well, we don't know that he's going to defend her properly. That's where a lot of the issue comes from. It would be like you said, your sister or my sister. It'd be like the concept of like, oh gosh, I really don't want him. I want her to be happy, but I don't want her dating him, because when the cards fall, I'm the brother that has to kind of, that's a worthy thing, a worthy aspect of this conversation is all I'm saying. So yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm just
and I will say,
so tired of it.
Love bubble, cool. She was up there, she was happy. Melissa still looked beautiful.
She did, but you know what? Also, I feel like Melissa walked in like very half-assed of like, I'm not gonna put that much effort into my hair. I'm just gonna call it a day, and then because she's like, I'm just gonna have a drink. I'm gonna leave. I'm already not happy that I'm here. And then it was very awkward between her and the girls.
Yes, very.
But
very
it's
much
awkward because Teresa is talking to the girls about their aunt and uncle, and then Melissa's trying to engage in a conversation, and it's like, oh, I missed that. I'm like,
I mean, I guess Melissa could have asked them like, oh, do you guys want to set up some time to see each other? Like, you could, but I mean, there's just been a lot of,
why don't you come to the house? Like, at this point, leave Teresa out of it. Come over.
Come over to the
house.
Why
don't you come to the house? Come to the house, or like call Teresa and be like, look, I know we're having issues, but like, is it cool if the boys come by to visit their cousins? Because I just want them to spend time together. Like, I don't give a shit about you anymore. I don't like you. You on my nerves. I think your husband is ugly. I think your love bubble is looking more like a blow pop.
And here's the thing too, like, oh my God, the drink, a love bubble. Here's the thing too. It's just like kind of like leverage that Teresa's carrying around this season. She knows she has the big, finale, which is the big wedding. Next season will be the divorce. Oh, did I say that out? But she has the big wedding this season, and so she's kind of using that, for her advantage, and it's not sitting well. But again, Teresa fans and Teresa herself, I want nothing but amazingness. I never found Teresa entertaining on this show. I watched her on The Apprentice years ago when I think she was on with Aubrey O'Day, and it was like she couldn't quite keep up. But not everything is for everyone. So if you notice the difference, I don't fight for non-Melissa fans like, oh, you should like her and tear Teresa down. I don't care about Teresa. I love me some Melissa.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel the same. It feels like, I like Teresa, Melissa's this and she's that. It's like, I bet you if you met her, she'd be cool. She's a cool chick. Like there's reasons I always make the mention. I mean, not that this means anything, but J-Lo's right hand, producing partner, Elaine Goldsmith Thompson, was on display. Like, this is J-Lo's as top tier as you get, and J-Lo's right hand producing partner like did the show and was like, oh, we love watching you and Joe and da 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 da. It goes to show, like, Melissa's at a little bit of a different cachet, even if people don't want to see it. It's just true, and I'm sorry.
And Teresa's been like going on and on and on about just different things. Like, she threw shade at people who have veneers, and then she got veneers. She threw shade, like, she's always backtracking and doing things, and I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
Just take a season off.
But again,
just do that.
But again, so I'm clear. Yes, take a season off. You're too into it. It's like everyone needs a little bit of a break to kind of see the world differently. She's probably in production mindset. I got to get married to who? Oh, I'm in love with Louie. I got to get married to him right away. That's a finale. Like, it's not a bad thing, but you're too self-produced. Well, maybe not her because she's not that swift. But the general idea is you need to take a step away from it and then come back in. The chosen family comment was frustrating for sure.
And on that, y'all, thank you so much for joining us today and dealing with us after we've been through a very, very long day of podcasting. And I woke up not feeling very well today, but the show must go on.
Yeah.
And Ronnie did his podcast today, one solo, one together. So please go over to Ronnie's page as soon as I find the slide. I'm gonna let you know where it's at. Please
he
head
loves
over
that.
to...
What a sexy motherfucker, man. Oh, I just give it up. Let's go.
And look at this, like, you just can't help but love Ronnie.
Damn.
You can
Drink
head
that
over
up.
to...
I'm in my own love bubble. I'll hit it for you real quick. It's youtube.com. The @ randomly Ronnie Jr. Everything could be accessed through randomlyronniejr.com if it's easier for you. If you want to go on Instagram, the two places you could find me at are randomly RJ and randomly RJ Pod, along with all the stuff we do at Difficult Podcasters. And of course, if you love Real Housewives of Miami, from episode 1 to we're about at episode 14, the finale is coming up. Russell and myself have covered that entire season 5, and that's a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun with that, and now we're transferring all that energy to this series. Hopefully we don't have to talk about Teresa and Melissa that much, though.
Hopefully not, but until then, find out to find out, and we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.